Hello and welcome. I'm Pepper. This is James.
I'm James.
He's our doggy shaman. We have O with us. We did a video earlier today with you guys about we want to take you through his journey, and I wanted to do a little more background on him, and then we'd like to kind of go through what we're doing with him.
That works.
So.
How did we meet?
So we met O because O came from a household of four dogs. He was the fourth. And I was kind of training through each dog. So I had trained two of the dogs in the household, and he was there, very eligible for some training.
Indeed.
And I really didn't pay a whole lot of attention to him. Like the first time I met him, he met me at the door and he was all excited, but he kind of growled and snarled. But it was like, sometimes little dogs will do that at the door. They're just like this nasty, but it's still a happy greeting. So I was like, okay, you look nasty, but
His greeting is still kind of that way, but good.
Right. So, and I was wrestling. Like I came home that first week, and I was like, oh, I definitely can help this dog. I can definitely help this dog. And then I came home, and do you remember what I said to you about this dog that I met? I have to tell you about this dog that I met.
Yeah.
He's awful. He tried to eat my shoe.
Right.
No, he tried to eat my shoe first day, first date and everything. He tried to eat my shoe. So.
And then you spent the next 4 days trying to convince me to go with you next time.
Yeah, I did, because when so here it happens, we're well versed in anxiety cases and reactivity cases and even low level aggression cases, so his case didn't actually fall out of the realm of things I was capable of, but I just instinctually knew that whatever it was that he needed was going to be something I had yet to do as a trainer, as a professional, but also it was something that I knew you definitely possess. So, and that's the gift of what we're gonna show. But his background is, this is a rescue dog from a foreign country, and you can believe what you want about spirits and being possessed and things like that, but I'm also not one to take my chances. So, and I'm not saying that, he came to America possessed or anything like that, but I am saying that what he came with was intense baggage. And it comes from a place that I've never been to or understand much about or had to until now. And so when you know that a dog is from a geographical location, and you kind of know the indigenous history of that space, some things about that dog's training and journey will make sense to you that just wouldn't even matter otherwise. And I could see that with him. I could see that this dog is he's as broken as he is. All the brokenness is an opportunity.
The second week, I didn't go with you, and
right.
You came home and told me that I need you to come with me, as in it wasn't a choice anymore.
Right. Right.
I need you to come with me. This dog bit me. I stood on him for, you went to extreme measures that usually get you at least a budge, and you barely got a budge. Right.
Yeah. And so it was so this was a whole new presentation of trauma for me as a professional, which is always exciting. And I know, here's the thing about...
Oh, and I was really excited about it because I had just helped a family that had a dog that had a broken heart.
Yes.
So I was fresh off of that experience.
Right, yeah.
And felt like, yeah, we really, did something good there. So I was stoked. I was like, okay, you got a devil dog. Let's go.
We kind of did. And so what ended up happening was Satan adopted us. No, I'm kidding.
He's not.
He's really not that bad. I joke. I do this with all our dogs. I badmouth all our dogs, so it's out of love. But in talking with his mom, we knew that he'd sustained physical injuries. So he's got his legs sit a little funny. His spine actually is shaped like a C. And so
he's missing teeth.
He's missing teeth. If you ask one vet what his age is, they'll say 2 years. You ask another and he's 11. And so there's a lot of things about this dog that are unknown, but that's, I knew, as soon as I knew that piece, as soon as I knew everything that I could depend on in my history as a trainer with dogs, it's an unknown in him. Then it stepped out of my scope of trainer stuff and moved into this level of trauma that also went down to the soul.
Right.
And that's where you come in, because then I have drag you along.
I went with you the following week after he just showed his whole behind, and I just met him, and he was okay. He wasn't charging me or anything like that, but I did have Pepper hold onto the leash because when I examine, I don't always pay attention, so I'm not gonna know I'm about to get bit.
Right.
So I asked Pepper to hold his leash, and I examined, and I said, okay, this is interesting.
Things that I hate that he does.
Yeah, that's one of them. I do that. So I said, his owner at the time says to me, he only acts like this when he's in his space, because there was a corner that he had a basket in. And I said, okay. So we walk over to the corner, and sure enough, he just turned into Cujo. And I said, wow, okay, that's really interesting. So I took the leash and walked him outside. Mm-hmm. When he was outside, he was yet another dog. Yeah. He was Lassie.
We met 4 kinds of O on our first day.
I mean, it was incredible. I mean, he let everybody pick him up. He let everybody touch him, and he was great on a leash even. I didn't even have to...
Walks in a perfect heel.
Walks in a heel. The whole mess. So I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Go across the threshold, and you can see, I can feel the shift, and I remember thinking, maybe it's the house. Maybe there's something in the house.
Right, like we did this whole cleansing.
Yeah, I mean, we went all in. I tried everything I could. And that same day, I did get him mellow enough to allow his owner to hold him. And
for the first time.
She told us it was the first time, and I was just amazed.
First time in over a year.
Yeah, that she had been able to pick him up. And you'll see him. Pepper, show the Pepper. He's in a behavioral down right now, guys. So that's how big little he is. Okay, he's a toy poodle. I think he might be on the big side of a toy poodle, but he is a toy poodle.
He's certainly not a teacup.
No. So he, it got to the point where we ended up leaving him there, and I think the following time we went, which may have been a couple of weeks later, we brought him home. Yeah, we were rotating dogs. So I had taken one, met him, took one, brought it back, met him again, tried to get you to come with me. You didn't come with me. Same day, took another one of the dogs from the house, and then upon his other housemates were all cool. So.
Yeah, upon bringing out that last pup home after a board and train, that was when we were like, this guy needs to come home with us.
Yeah, so we brought him home, and long story short, he's ours now. And upon bringing him home, I was really kind of impressed, if you will, with the level of training he has. He's just got a terrible, nasty disposition. He immediately got in a fight with Bob, who is our
temperament testing demo dog.
Our temperament testing demo dog.
So he goes straight for the behaviorist.
She threw him across the room before it was all over. And, he survived, clearly. And, again, I know how to heal. So...
This is normal dog stuff.
Oh, yeah. It was nothing out of bounds. So, I'm like, wow, that's interesting. He doesn't like Bob at all. And what's funny is, even to this day, if he just hears her name, he gets all
agitated.
Yeah, he's like, you know, all over the place, and he's alerting me. He's looking back at me like, "Do you see this, bitch?" You know what I mean? And I'm like, I was just kind of stuck, and I was like, okay, well, maybe the exposure will turn, help him turn the corner, because that's what happened with Mort, because you had a season where you let Mort sleep in the bedroom.
Right.
And O is in a crate, in our bedroom. So at first he didn't like it when Mort moved at all. Okay. Yeah. if he could hear Mort, he was not happy unless it was hearing Mort snoring.
And when you say not happy, like we're talking like in the middle of 3 a.m. and just you hear this from this tiny little.
Yeah. And it's like, what is going on? So finally he got used to Mort, but he still
won't even try it with Bob.
I mean, if they're outside alone and he knows that there's no one there to save him, they tolerate each other, and he'll just pretty much stay away from her after they get their sniffs in.
Right.
But it's a whole performance. It's ridiculous. So again, long story short, this brought me to the place where I said, you know what? I'm a dog trainer and a metaphysician. Let us fix this dog, because I don't want to be the hairdresser with the jacked up hair, the mechanic with the jacked up car. That's not how I go. So I decided to get serious, and I said to myself a couple of weeks ago, the first of the year I'm going to start his training and we're going to go to boot camp. So this is what that means to him so far. He is in day 2 of he gets out of the crate to do what we're doing right now while I meditate a couple times a day, and I also take him for a walk, and of course if he needs to go and relieve himself, he does that. I've been feeding him in his crate and watering him in his crate and everything else, so he doesn't get to come out unless it's for a purpose, okay, at this point. And Pepper, do you want to explain the psychology behind that?
Yes. So the crate is your dog's zen space, or should be. Mm-hmm. And the point of having a dog, understand that this regimen he's currently on with strict, heavy structure, a lot of pet parents right now are like, he's in the crate all day and he doesn't get to go out. And I just want to let you know, there are times and seasons and things that we must go through. And when you have a traumatized brain that is backed by somatic memories, because there's broken bones here, and somatic memories are the entrapment of trauma in your body. When you have that going on, and he very much does, you need to, that lets you know right away that his brain is pretty much addicted to that adrenaline rush. And to get the brain to stop with the adrenaline rush, you can't add energy to that. You can't walk this dog to death.
Right.
You're just gonna make him tired and let him power up to wake up anxious and start again. Right? So it's the brain that needs the work, not the body.
We need to change his mind.
So having them restricted and making every movement purposeful and necessary. Mm-hmm. You give the brain nothing to feed off of. So it's going to naturally start
it's a deprivation process.
Right. So you're gonna deprive the senses a little bit, not gonna withhold food or water, but he's not gonna get sunshine as often as he's used to getting. He's not gonna get all those, and that's fine while in this process. So don't let that hurt your hearts.
Right.
This is a journey. So there are going to be things about his journey that you're going to be like, yes, I love this week's story. And there are going to be weeks where you're like, I don't know how I feel about that. That's a journey. So understand that's going to be a part of this. But that is the purpose of heavy structure and restriction of freedoms. We call it doggy capitalism too. Right. And so you can think of it like that, but it's very much it's that necessary evil to help him release what's holding him.
Right. Now, probably the most challenging thing that I'm going to be doing with him is the energy work. And the reason being is, and this, I don't know how this will sound. I just have to say it the way that I experience it. I use a great deal of love and it's how do you say, it's unconditional. Okay, so I have to get my head in a space where I'm not judging him at all if the energy is to work as well as it does. And I've been able to get to that place with him, but the closer we get to him coming up to where I need him to be, he panics and he starts growling, and it's the strangest thing I've ever seen. I mean, people react to the energy a lot of different ways. Some people pass out, some people cry, some people feel nothing at all, some people feel sensations all over themselves or whatever. And what's weird is I usually feel what it is that the subject is feeling as they're feeling it. Okay, I have an idea of what's going on with their senses as well, and that's how I know that we've come to the same frequency. We've come to the same vibration. So, or in other words, I've usually raised elevated their vibration. And again, the closer that we get him to that, the more he acts out and wants to bite. And he snapped at me one time. I mean, we were it was like a tender moment. That's what's really strange, and that's why I know it's connected to the love part, because we were cuddling, and I'm not a dog cuddler, to be perfectly honest.
Not a cuddler.
Wow. I'm not really a dog cuddler. I'll pet and that sort of thing, but I don't go all the way. So so anyway, I'm just stroking him one day, and we're I think I was watching television, and Pepper was there, you were there, and I'm like looking in his eyes, and I'm like, he's really starting to enjoy this, and then he just was triggered because we connected. Like that fast, he just switched.
Right. And it wasn't just the eye contact.
No, it wasn't the eye contact, because if anything, he gives me eye contact that he won't give anyone else. So it wasn't the eye contact, it was the energy. It was the vibe that he was feeling, which was a caring vibe. And it's like, wow, he's like so not used to that. You know what I mean?
Do you think, in your opinion, in your experience with him, what do you think he interprets that as?
A threat. Obviously, we found a few triggers of his, like sticks or, anything with a handle, okay? And, I would imagine, some of the stories that we heard about him might be in a roundabout way true. In that, somebody lures him. If you get lured to something and then you're punished,
right?
It's like, oh, well, yeah, they were really cool a minute ago, and now they're whooping my ass, or whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm not real positive what it is, but I am going to break through it. And the last 2 days, I have been able to get to that place of connection, and then I've backed off. I'll just take him that far, and then just leave him there.
So this is that pressure release exercise
That's exactly
with the leash.
That's exactly what it is. And I know that, I can see it working on him. I mean, when I run my hand over him, when I'm treating him, you get about right here, that leg starts to twitch.
You want me to move the frame?
Yeah, you notice?
So I want to show you guys this, because it is kind of, because he's not touching the stuff, right?
Yeah, he's trying to figure out what's happening. I usually do the energy part after I've meditated, and he's been meditating with me in it down the whole time.
So as you can see, he's not thrilled about me being in his space like this right now.
No.
But
you see that? He's upset right now.
so but I wanted to show you guys this, and I'm just gonna ever so slightly elevate this. So a couple things you need to understand about this journey.
And I don't know, maybe the sensations that he's feeling are unsettling.
Perhaps.
Because they're in places he needs repair.
Perhaps. It's also possible that he sees this tenderness and interprets it as weakness.
Yep.
That
See that?
Yeah. So this is, then there's also this, when you've been traumatized, your brain wants to cycle through. So he wants to escalate
Leave it.
and cycle through, because his brain still has, because he grew up with it, this addiction. So what happens in adolescence when an adolescent grows up in a traumatic environment? It breaks the brain. There's a part of your brain that swells and there's a part of your brain that shrinks. And these swell and shrink according to what's been triggered, what trauma is happening. So when
and there's, let's just be clear, that you're not broken, you can be fixed.
Absolutely.
It's not beyond repair.
It is a brokenness, but it is not without ability.
It can be
to heal.
rewritten.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been through trauma. I've healed my broken brain. It is no longer a broken brain. And that's one of the wonderful things about having a brain. So when he grew up in this traumatic environment, or was deeply traumatized at least once, but perhaps a few times in his adolescence, to the point that what should be basic trust, mistrust type things are going to be challenging for him, as well as when those things show up and his body's response has always been, oh, we escalate now. That's a hard one. That's an imprint trained thing. Now, it doesn't mean it's not doable, but it means that what he needs is a complete environmental change. He is calling us to step up and learn how to be better with our emotional neutrality. And when you hear him growling, your automatic response is going to be some kind of emotion, either sadness that he's growling, a little bit of intensity about him growling. Some of you may want to address that. And when those things are happening, you're judging it. And that's what will stop your progress every time. And we're all guilty of it. But when you're looking at a moment in a broken being's life and you're judging the behavior of that, you are limiting yourself greatly in your ability to help them heal in their journey. So that's one of the beautiful things about us getting to tell O's story, is we get to demonstrate and embody being healers, but also being exactly what it is that he needs for his own healing. And not judging it so that we limit ourselves. That's going to be a really fun, great task for us, because, you know, we know enough to know that what's broken, but to know that and not judge it is going to be a unique and interesting challenge for us. So
yeah, so that's where we are, and you saw it for yourself. You know, he reacts, and we're gonna get him fixed. So thank you guys for watching, if you did, and if you've got any advice, that'd be cool too. I'll take truth from any place. And yeah, good to go. I'll give you guys an update in a day or two.
Definitely, if you're watching this, like, subscribe, follow the things, all of the things.
Thank you guys.
And send some good energy, and we'll keep you guys posted. Thanks for watching.